Hi, I'm Dawn with RanchHand. Just wanted to take a few minutes and take you through the program. Welcome. So the first thing you're going to see when you open RanchHand is this is your dashboard. The icons on the top, they take you where you need to go in the program. We're going to go to the animals. Double-clicking that takes you right to the animals, and this shows you your inventory. The top grid shows you your inventory by pasture or location. It shows you split for the animals, whether they're bull, cows, and calves. So you can select either what type of animal you want to look at. That shows you in the bottom grid. It shows you the pasture total. That shows in the bottom grid. Or I like to keep all of my animals showing so that I can select as I will. 67. So we go to the bottom grid. I'm going to select cow 476. You can select a bull, a cow, or a calf at this point. Basically, their records are pretty much the same. There's some differences, but I'm just going to pick this and we're going to go through the cows. The top tabs at the top of the page, they take you through the animal record. This is the general tab. It shows you her ID, location, status, sire and dam, among other things. As you navigate through the top tabs, it shows you different information that we've put in for your animal. From traits, the cow info, calfhood. The breeding tab is very powerful. This shows you all of the breeding for this specific animal. What's current is in the grid. It shows you that this cow has been AI'd, pasture exposed. She did have an observed breeding. At the top, it shows you her earliest breeding date and the latest breeding date. The earliest is based on your AI. The latest is on your observed breeding. It shows you the due dates in relation to those breeding dates. You can see the palpation date or the preg checks. How they were preg checked is down below. We do not override a preg check. We keep all history. This preg check resulted into bred. The egg basket is for your donors. If you have a donor and you're flushing, the flush analysis is a breakdown of all the flushes that you put in on your donor. This shows each individual flush to the sire and what was recovered. The top shows the analysis of however many flushes you put in. It shows you what her totals are and the averages for that. In this flush, specifically one, if you wanted to check on this flush, you can see that we recovered 5. We transferred 3 fresh. In the flush before, we had frozen 5. I'll show you the frozen ones in a bit. We transferred 3 fresh. You will see that the transferred embryos are listed below with their recipient information. So the recipients are also able to carry their progeny as naturals or ET in their data records. The progeny is the next tab. And so whether it's a donor or a recip or just a cow in your pasture, this is where their progeny is, and it tracks all progeny for that specific animal as far back as they are. And it shows you where that progeny is. The oldest one has advanced to the cow herd. She's now pasture exposed. We have some on feed. We have some that are nursing. These ET calves that are nursing, it shows you the recip IDs as well. This page also shows you the averages, the birth weights, weanings, and yearling weights. It shows you her calving interval and the days since she's had her last calf. All the way to the right, you see all the tabs. This shows you tabs that don't necessarily show up immediately on your window. These tabs are like the health, and you can just click them and they will open. The health tab, it shows all of your health records for this specific animal. Whether we have the health record built in, or if not, you have the ability as a user to build that in as well. If you have a health treatment that has resulted in a retreat or a withdrawal period, that shows up at the top. Any of this information is able to be pulled into a report for you so that if you have several that you need to keep track of, we can do that by putting it on a report for you. The rest of those tabs finish out as measurements. Those are any weights that you take. Purchase and sales, it tracks your EPDs. We can download those for you from your breed associations. Our pedigree, it tracks 7 generations on your pedigree. The change log shows you that where the cow is when you've changed pastures, when the status has changed from open to bred. Notes fields are everywhere. You're going to find that there is not really any place in any of the data that you can't put a note. We believe in RanchHand, we believe that notes are important, and not everybody tracks a note the same way. Custom fields, that's very powerful, because what that is it gives you the opportunity to track something that maybe we're not tracking yet. If you track something on your ranch, we have the ability for you to have unlimited fields. Those fields can also be pulled into a report for you. I want to show you, before we leave this page, this action button. This action button allows you to do multi-animals at one time, whether you're updating breeding records. So like your pasture exposing cows, you pull 10 cows out of 50, and you're going to expose them to a specific bull in a new place. You pull those cows, you pasture expose them, then you move the cows and the bull to a new location. You can do all of that from this box right here. You can update your breeding information, then you can move your cows. If those cows happen to have a nursing calf inside, the program will gather up and it will ask you, do you want to take the nursing calf as well? That's very powerful, and it saves you a lot of time. One other thing that I want to take you through is our semen and embryos. So the semen inventory, if you do any AI work, semen inventory is your inventory or your vet's inventory. If you keep your semen stored at a vet or at a collection station, you can have your inventory at your fingertips, knowing what things are, where things are, and how they are. If you have purchase and sales as well, we track that, and you can double click from this report and it'll take you to that specific semen, and you can see the purchase and sales, and you can see how you've used that as well. Taking you back to the inventories of the embryos. So I told you earlier about the semen. The semen, you can buy 10 straws and you use out of that 10. Your embryos are treated differently because they have an actual ID number. So we list those individually. That way, if your embryologist is giving you enough paperwork that you can know which specific ID comes out of that tank, then you can take them off that way. This is something else that is kept up to date by your multi-action button that you just saw. When you transfer embryos or breed cows with your semen, if you put it in through the program, it does reflect that in your inventories as well. Last but not least, I want to show you our reports. We have a very robust report writer and are able to give you anything really that you want to see. We have a lot of reports that are already built in. They will come to you in the program. I'm going to pick a couple that are my favorites. But if you have a specific report that you like, we will definitely be able to build that for you and send it back to you so that you can drop that into your report folder. This is the current due date report. It comes in all of the programs. It is our part of our standard reports. This is a very powerful report because it shows you the current due dates based on the due date. So it runs in due date order. It shows you which cows are due at a certain time. It also shows you where those cows are, and it shows you when they were bred and how far along they are. This also gives you the opportunity to have notes on this report so that if you take it with you, you can jot down your information. Another interesting report is a herd inventory. So if you're just going to pastures and checking numbers, checking to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, you can take this report. It's sorted by a specific pasture, then it sorts by ID. So when you have the end, you know that there's 20 cows in a specific pasture and you only count 18. In a very quick manner, you can check through these numbers and see who you're missing. And then we've also built in a lot of worksheets as well, just grabbing one random one. This is the herd health worksheet. If you're just working the herd and you're going to bring them all in, there are other worksheets that sort by pasture, but this right here just sorts by cows. And it gives you the opportunity that you can add a health treatment or you can add field notes on that as well. And then you can bring that back and put that data into your computer at the time when you come in and have a glass of tea. So anyway, thanks for looking at the program with me. If we have any questions, please give us a call, 979-803-1615. See you soon.